What goes on, guys? We're back here again with yet another review, and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Mego Corp Guillermo Del Toro's Pinocchio from Netflix. Now, crazy story about this. I saw it on TikTok, saw somebody found it at Walmart. I went to Walmart and I found it. How fucking crazy is that? I've never had that happen with Walmart. It's happened a couple times with Target, but Walmart. And I am very, very happy with the fact that I just found it. I've never reviewed a Mego Corp figure on here. I probably won't again unless this becomes like a line. I don't really know. I'm not super into this kind of style of figure, but I really enjoyed this movie. I watched it the other day on Netflix with my roommate, and he wasn't really paying attention. He had to do a paper or whatever, but I loved it. I thought it was great. It's probably my favorite Pinocchio movie now. I like it better than the Disney one. I am a sucker for stop motion, though. I did it in high school, and it's very hard, but a lot of fun once you pull it off. Here is the same image on the back, just now with a better backdrop, except Cricket's in a different pose. His name is Sebastian, though, instead of Jiminy, and he's voiced by Obi-Wan Kenobi himself, which is pretty cool. So definitely recommend this movie. You get to see the pictures on the side, same pictures, I believe. Yeah, same pictures over there. If you're looking for this in a barcode, there it is. So, and then on the inside, you just get like a little bit of art, and then you get to see the figures here. So this will be by the electronics section in Walmart, but on an end cap of Netflix stuff. So good luck. But without further ado, let's go ahead and pop these bad boys open. So, getting the crew out of the package, I have to say they are pretty damn cool. I kind of don't like Geppetto, just for articulation reasons, and we'll show that off in a second. I do have my most problems with him. Cricket for what Jiminy, not Jiminy. Geez, third time's a try. Sebastian is pretty cool. He's just a little slug, but we'll take a look at him. But honestly, Pinocchio really is the star of the show for me with this set. I really, really like him, and we'll talk about why that is as the video goes on. But let's go ahead and just get him out of the way, starting with Sebastian. So I said slug, meaning that he doesn't move, so there's no articulation on him. Kind of wish he had like a little head swivel, maybe like little ball joints in his arms, but it's not that really big of a deal. He does have nice paint. There's like a little bit of dry brush on the blue, and then like his wings and his head are painted like a darker blue, whereas his little mustache, mandible things are painted lighter blue, and then an in-between for the eyes with some white on there. So he looks great, but he doesn't stand all too well, so just keep that in mind, that when you want him to get to stand, he'll stand, but you do got to play around with it. Not to mention, he is nowhere near in scale. I'm not really worried about that. He just know that he's not, because technically he's supposed to be Pinocchio's heart. You know, so he's supposed to go in that little hole right there and live inside Pinocchio. So it sounds a little weird, but if you watch the movie, you'll know what I mean. But yeah, so he's definitely not in scale, but it honestly isn't bothering me. But what isn't bothering me even less, I guess, is Pinocchio. I really like him. Look at him. He's like so cute. But I like his little head. I like the design of one ear versus like unfinishing, because of how Geppetto made him. Again, I don't want to spoil it because it is still a really new movie at the time of this recording and publishing. But yeah, I really, really liked like the wood grain on the back of his head. He didn't really look like wood in the movie, so to speak. I know that's kind of stupid to say, but he looked, I don't know. I think a matte finish on him would have been nice. So I might do that on him as well. You can see like his little joints that are actually joints. I like that. His little hands on there. The wood grain isn't sculpted super deep in there, and I think a little bit of paint on the nose, like on his what do you call that? Like the notch in the wood, like where the hole is for the heart. But I do like that they did like the later version of him after something happened with his legs, so the bands are painted on there. I do like that. And you get his feet. The hands are just open hands. He doesn't have anything to hold. That's okay. And then all the nails on his back are painted, which I do like that a lot. So that's pretty cool. I think he looks really nice. He definitely has the proportions of the Pinocchio in that movie. Now, one thing that, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I like that he's a little loose. It like kind of adds to the fun factor in a sense of like, in the movie, when they're animating him, when he first gets up, it's like you see that he's trying to balance himself. And the animators did a beautiful job with the stop motion on him. So it's almost like the challenge of getting him to stand is fun just because, like, they had to do this, animating the movie. Maybe that doesn't make sense, and maybe I sound like a crazy person, but I actually really like this. That, you know, you can have a little bit of fun trying to get on the pose, and he feels like a little puppet. He actually never really is a puppet in this movie. He kind of is, but he kind of isn't. It's a really weird movie, but for all the right reasons. So, in terms of articulation for this guy, you're really just going to get head swivel. It is on a ball joint, but it doesn't really do much. The shoulders on a hinge, and they'll swivel all the way around. Single jointed elbow, no rotation anywhere on the arm, which I would have liked that, but it's not necessarily. Wrist swivel and hinge, which is nice. And then no torso articulation. The hips will not move out. They really only go forward and back. But again, that's okay. And then you get single jointed knees. That'll go forward and back. So, you know, puppet style. And then the ankles do rotate and hinge forward and back a little bit. So, and, you know, he's loose, but he's not, like, unbearably loose. Like, you can definitely, with little effort, get him to stand. It's just a balancing act. So I really like him. Plus, I like just kind of getting him sitting, like laying on the ground, like Geppetto just made him. Like that looks cool. I do enjoy that a lot. I just think that he's a really fun little figure. So I was definitely hoping for this level of articulation, paint and stuff, and I think that he delivered twofold. Now, the only accessory you get is an interchangeable nose. He's Pinocchio. He has to have an interchangeable nose. And I actually think I like this one a little bit better. This is the I'm lying growing nose. So there is that compared to the new one or the older one. I think I like this one a little bit more. I think it's fun to see him do what Pinocchio is known for. I think it's cute. But it's really cool that they give you the option of, do you want him with his little nose or his big nose? So that's pretty damn cool. Now, the figure I did have the most problems and issues with is Geppetto himself. Now, this is a big Italian man. I have to say, just doesn't follow the proportions of what we see in the movie. I guess they just reused the body. I'm pretty sure that's what Mego does, but it just doesn't fit the Geppetto in this movie, as he's like a shorter, older man with kind of a beer belly, and he just doesn't really fit this proportion. Also, this is not the look of him that I would have wanted. I actually like the look on the box, but again, it's not the end of the world. I just, he does look like this in the movie, just I think the proportions are way off, because if you take this suit off, it's like a ripped body underneath, and he's an old man, so it's definitely not the case for him. But taking a look at the head sculpt, I do think the head sculpt is actually pretty damn good. I don't think the hair is correct, and the eyes are a little off for me, but I can deal with it. The hair should be slicked back, but maybe this is like a later version of him towards the end of the movie when he's gone through all of his adventures. I really like the wash in the beard. The eye paint around the eyes is a really nice touch, and I like that the beard paint carries over into the hair and the eyebrows. That looks great. And then it's not often that I do full-on soft goods on this channel when it comes to reviewing figures, but he does have full-on soft goods. He looks jacked in this shirt, and like I said, that's not really how it's supposed to go. These straps are slightly annoying to the point where I might want to glue them in place. They are a little annoying, but I don't know. And you get like his shirt and his undershirt. They look nice, and then you get his painted hands. I wish he came with an accessory like of a chisel and a hammer. That would be really cool. I definitely have them somewhere, so I'll dig through my stuff eventually when I'm ready to build my movie display and put them in there. His belt, like suspenders, are just kind of straps that are really loose. This is his poop flap, so when he has to decide to take his old man poops, he just pulls that down. But it is like a leathery pleather kind of thing that's sewed on, so I do like that. Same with the knees. Just FYI, this is like the most powerful old man ever. Like, this dude takes a beating in this movie, okay? Like, I'm not going to say how or why or when, but like, he takes a fucking beating. It's crazy. I like the tampo on the pants of the stripes on there. It looks really nice. And then his ankles and feet look good with his little green socks, and his shoes, even though his shoes aren't accurate, I wanted these shoes with the nice detail on there. So, I don't know. I might try to like paint them or something, but they're just not accurate. He just is he's definitely the most inaccurate out of the three. Three, considering if you want to call Sebastian a figure, which I do. So again, no accessories. I think a hammer would have been nice, especially for this price point. But what are you going to do? An articulation I didn't expect to be good, but it's actually not terrible. So the head will basically just swivel. It has a little bit of pivot back and forth, but honestly, it's really just going to swivel. The shoulders move up, down, rotate to about there, and then rotate back. It'll go all the way around without this, so it's not really that. Now, what I suggest when you want to move the arms is pull up to make sure your joint's going in the right direction, because they are tight and you don't want to snap anything. So single jointed elbow that does rotate, and then the wrists swivel and hinge. Also, the skin tone doesn't really match on the face to the arms. Not that it's really that big a deal. You just get a ball joint at the waist, so it's just basically that, and he'll rotate, but it does pull it out of his pants, like his shirt out of his pants a little bit. Keep it in your pants, Geppetto. Keep it in your pants. But, so unfortunately, that's kind of an issue. The hips will only go about that far. No, they go about that. They go pretty far, actually, and I don't feel like that's going to rip, so maybe about that far. Down, he'll kick forward, back, no thigh cut, single jointed knee that really only gets about that much, which is kind of lame, but whatever. And then the ankles rotate and hinge, no pivot. So he definitely gets in enough poses that you would need him to. Like, he's not going to really need to get into more, to be honest with you. Like, I think the only thing that I would have liked is to be able to get him in like a kneeling down pose, and the foot articulation allows for that, but the knees definitely don't. So not terrible. I'm not super disappointed with it, because I kind of knew that going into it. I've never reviewed a Mego Toys figure, but I know that that's how they go. So, it's just kind of what you expect from this line. Now, as far as scaling goes for these figures, don't expect them to fit with other lines that you have. Here they are next to the Hasbro Marvel Legends, Zombie Captain America, and Darwin. Pinocchio could work, and Jiminy Cricket isn't even in scale with his own... Sebastian's not even in scale with his own line, but obviously Geppetto's like way too big. If you want them next to another 6-inch line, here they are next to the Jazz Rush Fortnite Series Peely, which is a little bit better. 7-inch scale, still too tall. He's taller than Batman. And then next to NECA's King Kong, he's around the same height as NECA's King Kong, which is kind of crazy, actually. But it's not really going to fit in line with that kind of stuff. I really just bought this because I really like the Pinocchio, and, I want representation of this movie on the shelf, but that doesn't necessarily bother me very much. Once everything's in the display that I'm thinking that I want to put this in one day, I'm not really going to be focusing on that. So it does look pretty good in that regard. So a bunch of you out there are probably wondering, Aunt, what are you thinking of this fig? And I got to say, it's an interesting set. It's an interesting set. I'm very happy and fortunate that I found it, because this is a limited edition set. As I rip the box open to open it, but it is a limited edition set, so I don't think they're going to be making a lot of these. And I got extremely lucky, and it was extremely easy to find this. Go check your Walmarts. Make sure that you're looking around for it, because I don't think that they're going to be there very long. I mean, there were 2 when I found it, and I literally went back today for something else, and it was not there. So keep an eye out if you want it. But it is a little bit of a hefty price point. It's about $50 to $55, depending on taxes and stuff like that. So to get 3 figures for $50, that's what they're marketing it as, even though I'm really not counting Sebastian. So it's really 2 figures. Considering it's about $25 each, you pick your poison. For me, it's Christmas time, and I had a Christmas party, so I already had the money. But anyway, I really, really like what we got going on here in terms of Pinocchio and Sebastian. Geppetto isn't terrible. He just could be a lot better, if that makes sense. So, at a price point of around $50 to $55, I'm going to go ahead and give this figure set a rating of 7 out of 10. It could be better, and there's a lot of room for improvement, but I'm not unsatisfied with my order and purchase here. So, very happy to have these. But anyway, I believe that's all I got for today. So if you have not already, please just sure to like, comment, subscribe. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok, as I post a lot over there, and I have a lot of fun. So I'm sure you all will too. But as always, let me know. You copying these guys? And for who? Geppetto, Sebastian, or the one and only Pinocchio? Let me know. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.